I get out of here on July 31st.
Okay. Okay, you're almost there.
Almost, man. Can't come quick enough.
Right on. Got your coffee in you?
It's warming up right now.
Okay, cool.
But let me go ahead and start opening things back up. And then whenever you're ready, you can start sharing your screen and we'll get started. I'll pull
Okay.
up our conversation too because I forgot where we left off.
Yep.
So I think we got to the subsidies. That's where we were at, right?
Yep.
All right,
Yeah, I think we
cool
just
deal.
finished with subs, going through the gear and subs.
Yep, that's right. Okay, so then we're just on to number 7. Okay, cool. On stream. And then pop that out. All right, so 6 and 7, those are pretty easy. It's just basically making sure you're not sitting on any upgrades in your art treasure or your sim treasure.
Sitting on waiting, items waiting to get upgraded.
Yep.
I think we're no.
So
I
just
I just hit all of these.
good deal.
Yeah, I just hit
That
all of them.
8,000 is rough.
Yeah, I thought the 6,000 was rough. Every time it goes up, I'm like, all right, I'll see you forever ago. These actually
That
weren't
6
bad
months from
though. I
now.
focused on hitting these Civ treasures in the black market whenever I needed to like hit those. Like that wasn't so bad of a push to hit those. Um,
Yeah. I usually wait till I'm close and then I start making that push.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we
cool
can get
deal.
those
Um, we can go into the art ones next then.
right
This
ones.
one's easier. We can just look for a red
These
dot.
are yeah, these are a ways off. I think they're about halfway there.
Okay. And then I assume the Fafnir thing, that's you're waiting on Bog, top
Yeah,
100.
purple
Is that?
wings.
Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I guess that would be the next like milestone, right? I think Yggdrasil dragon makes that a little bit easier. I
Yeah,
don't
it does. Just because the healing, you get 20% back, so it's basically adding 20% power to your keep to help you get after it.
right.
So if you can get, I know All Stars is coming up now. That's the new getting after. So I think a month from now we should be entering All Stars.
Mm-hmm.
So just making sure you're looking at and keeping pace of those scores. Okay. Next spot. Let me go back to our chat. Is your advanced refinements. So let's just look at your Civ gear if you've been refining them at all.
And advanced. Yeah.
Yep. So choreo, yep. And the way I normally do these, um, so like choreo, I'll get to like let's say my goal is 40. So I'll put all of choreo to 40. Then I'll go to my next PvP set, most important PvP set.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so for you, if you're sending more siege than archer, then siege is gonna be more important. So you go there, you're gonna get it to 40. And I always break it up instead of doing 6 at a time because it'll just drain your refine stones. I just do 2. I go attack first, then I do HP, then I do defense. So like in your case, like if you were to take that strategy, looking at your choreo, you would go for the bow and bracer and get those to 40.
Mm-hmm.
And then after those 2 are 40, go to the helmet and I think it's legs that are
Legs.
HP.
It probably is because the
Yeah.
boots and the armor are at 31. That's typically what I would do too in that order. Attack first,
Okay.
HP,
Yeah.
and then defense. So
Yep. So you're just giving yourself little tiny micro goals here instead of just trying to like dump everything and max it to 100 because it's too fucking expensive to do that.
Yeah, it starts getting that way, I think, like past 30 or so.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you want to save those refine stones in case, a new general comes out, or you get a new piece of Civ gear that needs to go on a PvP gen, and you need to refine it. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but yeah, you got some good leveling here. So, you're not lacking on it, which is good.
No, I think the couple pieces, level 31 started getting rough, so I started going back and doing like the defense pieces for like the range march that was left
Hmm.
behind. That's why those just showed up in there.
Awesome. Okay, we'll move to the next piece then, the Senate. So the Senate is hell.
Yeah, we've been putting in some work on the Senate. We, I just finally got, I have all of the generals in inventory to get everything max. So now it would just be blood getting
Okay.
everything. So um, we've got some in there. Um, so I guess you want to just go through the top ones first, and then we'll go through the other seats and position levels and promotions.
Yeah, we'll start with the overall, the big ones, like where you see that 5 up there, the 3.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like go back one screen, notice that there's so you dumped 5 into there. So
Okay.
I
Yep.
made the mistake of going between governor and commander. I kept those two the same, but basically mine's like at 5 and the commander's at 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left everything else untouched,
Yeah.
which was a mistake because you can get pretty much the same kind of buffs for cheaper if you just keep them level. So instead of like going from 5 to 6, I went ahead and made all 4 of my other ones 1 and 2. So I leveled them up and started keeping them on pace. So like looking at you now, I would suggest making sure going to Marshal, Ruling Senator, and Honorary Senator next, getting all those to 3, and then starting over at Commander, getting it to 4, and then Marshal to 4, etc. Right?
Yeah, I think that's what I started to do because at this point, I think to go up, the next one is like almost like 20,000 of those twigs. So like the
Yeah,
buffs are
and
obviously better, but you can get like 3 or 4 promotions out of these that unlock different
exactly.
ones. So
Yep. So understanding that, cool. Now let's dive into your first one, Governor. All right. So the way you can prioritize the other ones if you don't have enough of your twigs, you have to pick between the 3, just clicking the big upgrade button at the bottom,
hmm
and then determining, all right, do I want attacking buffs? Do I want in-city buffs? Do I want like battlefield buffs, whatever? And
yep.
then this right here is going to break that down for you, and then you can prioritize, all right, well, I'm gonna go, you know, to what is it, what was the other one, Marshall? Ruling Senator or
hmm
something. So for example, let's walk through it. If you
Yeah.
go to the ones that you only have 2 on, because those are the ones you're going to upgrade next. So
hmm
Marshall, click the
Yep.
big upgrade button. So here we're going to get in rally attack, attacking mounted troop and ground attack, and then enemy range troop and siege machine attack 10% debuff.
hmm
So debuffs are always a little better than buffs. So we'll keep that in mind. So now go to your
Okay.
next number, level 2.
Senator.
That was level 3.
Oh.
Yep, there you go. So this was getting attacking mounted and ground, attacking mounted and ground, enemy range. So you're getting a little more buffs here,
And the same debuff.
and you're getting the same debuff. So right now we would choose this one, but
hmm
we'll go look at the last one that you
Yep.
had, and this one's attacking range, siege and attack, or range troop siege, attack, which is good. Then you're also getting that same debuff. You're getting mounted and ground troop attack, but only in battlefield,
hmm
which is actually, I would say this is arguably the best one that you can go for next.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'd be this one, basically the reverse order. We went
Yep.
for your next upgrade.
So it'd be honorary senator and then this one, the ruling
Ruling
senator.
Senator.
Yep.
Yep. And then Marshall.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Now let's look at um the leveling. Well,
Position.
Go all the way to the first one first.
Yep.
Yep. Go to assign title because we're gonna look at the
Okay.
buffs but provided here first. All right, so a lot of these are going to be in city, but I think the attacking is going to change. Like your 5 star and then your level 3 red star
Hmm.
are going to change from each one, whether it be attacking, defending, etc.
Right.
So if you're the main setter, you're most likely not getting set on very often. So for you, offensive buffs are more important.
Hmm.
And so here is awesome. You're getting in city and offense. So hit the right arrow at the top. Yep. And then so this one's also attacking in city. So these would be some more to go after that are good. But basically what we're trying to prioritize is what generals we're gonna put in first for what buffs. Because you got, like you said, you got those BOAs of the battle now.
Hmm.
So where am I gonna get the most value first, putting a fully ascended general in as opposed to somewhere else?
So we want to look for the 3-star and the 5-star markers that have attacking stats.
Yes, for you.
So,
Or all of them
gotcha.
having some kind of an offense.
Right. And we would prioritize the ones that have the 3-star like attack buffs first over defense and HP.
Yes, for your keep only.
Right. Okay.
So there, and then the cool thing is the 5 star is always generally a universal, so
Hmm.
it's going to be on offense and defense. So, all right, we can go to the next one. So this
And
is
what
getting you
about generally?
attacking, which is
So like here, uh, I feel like right now where my blood has gone is it's been focused on upgrading duty generals, right? Because I feel like if I like one unlocking another like 1-star here versus if I unlock something at one of the duty generals, usually the duty generals have something more
oh,
than.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
So
would you
getting these
prioritize
to
it then?
5 star,
Uh-huh.
yeah, getting these to 5 star is the last priority for most players because you're going to get better buffs out of, increasing your subsidy generals or getting your duty generals leveled up. You just get more out of it.
D-
Here, you can just throw a 5 star in, and then you can still get the upgraded position levels and promotion and all that stuff. You can still get all those buffs. And here, you're only getting 8%, 4% here or there, as opposed to like you can get a universal 20%
right.
across the board with 1 star on a different general.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the Senate is usually your last. The way I've been working and putting people into the Senate or generals into the Senate is when I upgrade my PvP generals, I throw my old generals in here.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that, and like once I had a full set of generals, and I was like, okay, now I'm just kind of keeping with the times. Every like 6 months to a year, I'm gonna have to make a new general anyway to keep them updated, and you can throw them back into here. But some people don't have that luxury.
Yeah, I think that's generally why the ones that are 5-star Totila Theo, like those were previous PvP generals. The ones that are 5-star are the ones that were actually used.
Hmm. Exactly. And then as you continue on, if you don't have previous generals like that to do, using the free to play generals like Trehan, Li Jing, you know, all the ones that are now in the tavern,
Hmm.
getting those and putting those free to play in here and just leveling them up because people can sometimes think that the 5 star general that you put in there or the 10 star, you get their buffs, and that's not the case. The only buffs you're getting are from these 5 stars right here that you're looking at.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so for you right now, Commander would probably be next so far because we've only looked at Commander. So we'll
Hmm.
go over one more. So these are the same kind of buffs. So you're closer. What you could do if you're getting the exact same buffs is just throw those over to the other spots because I think you don't have
That
any Archer one. Is that what you're missing on the one before this?
yeah.
Oh, and your Cab. So yeah, you can just move those over here to kind of like start closing them out in order,
Hmm.
but you're getting the exact same buffs.
Yeah.
I think, right? City
Well, this
Siege
one's
and
got
cities.
attacking mounted troop attack. I think that's why that
Okay,
one's
yeah,
there.
yep.
So,
Yeah,
and
attack
this
is more
one's
important.
attacking mounted troop defense. So,
Disregard. Yep, attack is better.
yep.
And what do you need for the unlock on these two?
The
What are you
victory column,
missing?
it's already under. That's the one I forgot to upgrade before I went to K43. It's currently in construction.
Oh, okay,
So
gotcha.
yeah, I think that's a victory column to go to the next Senate seat.
Awesome.
And this one is
So that's
probably whatever victory column is next after that one to make that upgrade.
10.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, cool deal. So we'll continue with the Marshall was the one that we wanted to do next. But that was we were looking at defense on those. So if we see HP, we're gonna want to put HP first.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So this is defending an in rally,
Mm-hmm.
and it's attack. So this would be a good one too, because do you solo a lot or are you like setting the rallies? I think you said you set more rallies in Battlefield and you solo in SVS, right?
Yeah. Battlefield is for the most part just straight rallies. SVS is more solo. Battlefield would be more like if somebody's not sitting for a rally, then I'm gonna go for a solo. I would go for a rally and Battlefield over a solo all day.
Okay. So I would honestly, I think this will be your next stop then, because the cool thing about the word defending, it also applies with reinforcing. So like if you're
Okay.
reinforcing somebody, you're still defending. So those buffs apply. So it's going to help you with reigns, and it's going to increase your in rally attack as well. So I think this is going to be better because Battlefield having Battlefield buffs is more important over SVS because SVS rewards aren't that great.
Right.
As opposed to like you're trying to get into challenge, you're trying to get into all stars. All that stuff comes into the Battlefield portion.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So for these, I think are more important than the Marshall now.
Sure. So it'd probably look something like this, and that. Well, I guess we'll go through the other ones before we make them. But yeah, this one
Mm.
over Marshall. So I'd probably take Artemis out of there, bring those generals over here because they're developed
You
more.
know, leave Artemis there. She's already good. She's already, whatever. I'm just saying for your neck, as you working up and you're putting BOAs into the Senate,
Uh huh.
this is where you should focus that next.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, just leave those as is. You're almost done. Um, and then just come here next.
Okay.
All right,
Got it.
let's go to the next one. So what are we getting here? Same thing, defending, but the third star is defense instead of attack.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be your number two go-to after that
Gotcha.
to
Okay.
make your reigns just even more disgusting.
Okay. Yep.
And then next one, and number
HP and
three
attack.
is yep. This is attack again. So actually make honorary senator your number two, and then the one before this number three, just because this has
HP and attack. This
uh
one has defending, right? Ground troop.
well, this had
It's
HP as
this has
well.
HP and this well, but this has HP and defense and rally. This one has HP and attack.
Yeah, HP and attack. That's
Yeah.
better.
Agreed. Okay.
All right, and now we'll
Cool.
go to the position levels. Yep.
Yep.
So here, yep, you're put a lot of love here because these are all attacking buffs, which are great.
Mm-hmm.
The last one is really good. That in-city siege HP for when you're getting siege rallied is good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we can go to the next one. Basically, just the way you want to do these is kind of keep with the times. So when you go to like the upgrade button and it's like, oh, you need, level 5 on ground and level 5 on cav. Also do level 5 on archer and level 5 on siege to keep them level
Uh-huh. Okay.
and do your upgrade and then just do the same thing through. So like for in this instance here, it's want level 14 everything. Go ahead and take siege to 14 as well. And that'll be you got some to spare too. Well, don't do it on this one. We might
Okay. We
we
would.
might we might find something else that's
Go ahead.
better
Okay.
for the buff wise itself. All right, hit back real quick. So what is this? This one is giving you attacking defense. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
And so,
which I think is why it was low, because right, that's usually what it is. Focus on attack and then HP. Defense be the third
yep,
stat. Yeah.
exactly. All right, so like for this one though, you need 15 for everything. So before you go to 4, just making sure all across the board here is 14.
Okay. Gotcha.
And now we're going to the 2s, which are your actual next ones. So you can't, this is the one you're missing, it's locked. So you can't get that there yet.
Yeah.
But when you get ready to upgrade, what do you need? It's going to be for level 3 is it 8? No, it's 11. So you can go ahead and
11.
get the
Mm-hmm.
ground and the cav to 11, and
Uh
then
huh.
once you unlock you can get that third one.
Yep. Gotcha.
But remember, Marshall was the third least important, so we're
Yep.
not going to take those to 11 first. We're going to take uh, the Senator one first.
Gotcha. Okay. Just here.
Here, yep, defending CJHP, that's a better one to have up
Mm-hmm.
over that defense one, but it's
Yep.
already 3, so let's save our resources for getting your other ones to 3.
Okay.
So here in Rally, CJHP is good.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the second one that you're going to upgrade. And yeah, getting that siege up is going to be, the siege is the big one here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, and then the next one,
I think this is the one that we actually wanted to upgrade, right, for the next seat.
yep, you're ready to go. You already have everything here.
Yep.
You just need the twigs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool deal. So what do you need to unlock that one again?
It's a good question. Oh, I think that's a 30,000 BOC round. One more, I believe.
Oh, okay, cool.
Two more.
Win battle constant with 30k
Yeah.
scores. Yep, okay. And what was that? Go back to honorary senator upgrade position level. It doesn't show the buff. Okay.
Now.
Let me see if my game's up. My game is up. I'll look at it real quick on mine. So that one's going to provide position level in rally siege attack. So that's a big one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we like siege attack.
Yeah. So as soon as you unlock that one, get it on level with everything else,
Okay.
and then move over to ruling senator after that, and start getting it everything up equal to there as well.
Okay.
And now, lastly, the position promotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I
So you
think
got
these are
everything.
these are pretty much even across the board, aside from a couple. I think on the end, all the way in the end, they actually give much higher stats. They increase by like 16% rather than this like 5 and 1% increase. So I think the ones at the end maybe
Yeah.
5. Um,
Yeah, that's because like they created that fucking paywall. I think it's behind Cake 5 to get the items you need here to upgrade these.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, just click promote. How many do you have? Oh, you need the medals as well. So you can get one more level on all of these if you get the medals.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any Rage Kings?
Um. So I know I do, and I can definitely. I've got a bunch of generals now that I've got all the generals that I needed for the Senate. There, my inventory is slap full because I've just been collecting them to because I wasn't sure which ones were going to get to 15 copies first. So I can definitely. I don't think medals would hold me back at all. It would be more than anything the uh,
The
whatever
BOA.
those no those whatever the next pieces are that I don't think I have any that require it. Oh, that one probably does. These, what do they call these? The radiant
Yeah.
metals. Those would be the only ones that would hold me back. I think I could definitely go through and increase these more, but I think the only thing that held me back is like I didn't see there's not like a really big increase from going from 5 to 6, right? So it would be more like if I'm going to unlock this second attribute down here on the level 6 was
Hmm.
I feel like I'd rather take the BOA and put it into the other things first, right? Like duty
Yeah,
generals
getting
or
the
duty generals are the
yep.
actual the actual generals in the Senate itself, right? Because if I'm gonna get attacking stats over here, it's looking like I'm just getting 1% or like I'm unlocking 2.4. So.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's completely fair. And knowing that those limitations, like the BOAs, is going to take away, it's going to push you back further on your other generals that you're trying to push up. So
Hmm.
completely fair.
Yeah. Okay.
So it looks like 3 is a comfortable level then, because it's not like too expensive to get there. So is everything at 3 then
Yeah, I
for
think
you?
3 unlocks this, right? That's why they're at 3. 3 unlocks this. So I
Yep.
was looking at like if I'm gonna go the next level, that would really have any benefit would be bringing 3 to 6 rather than going, from 3 to 4, which is gonna give me 1%.
Hmm.
So I think that's why I kind of got everything to 3 because it not only unlocks this first one, but it does this extra attribute down here.
Gotcha. Okay. Just I guess we'll walk through each one, make
Uh
sure
huh.
all the promotions are the same levels. You got a 2 there that you can up.
Yep,
All
and I
right,
think
next
we
one.
work from the bottom up to siege range, cav, and then
Yep,
grounds were the.
absolutely.
So okay. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
and
the
then
same
I.
thing here too. Like you see some say attacking, some say in rally,
Yeah.
so obviously putting attacking first and then for your keep. So anything attacking or offensive wise is more important for you than defending.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I think these give also a lot bigger increases in these ones, leading
Yeah, the
senator and the
last
ones
3
further
do.
ones, right? Because these ones are like jumping up by 8% now each time. It's not
Yeah.
1%, right? So I think that's the first. Yeah, the first 3 you get like 1% increases on these things, whereas after
Hmm.
3 you start getting these much bigger jumps where we're going from
Yeah, the last
22 to
3
28.
are nasty,
Yeah. Okay.
but they're also the harder ones to get. That's why,
Unlocked. You mean?
like to unlock. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. And last one. And we already tracking that last one. All right, cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you got a couple spots there. Obviously, if you get to the point where like, all right, my generals are good, I got some spare BOA to
Hmm.
burn, or even just like doing one for like the like right now, what's that event called where you can burn BOAs and get some back?
Trial of Knights. Yeah.
Trial of Knights. Yep, that's
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
So you can always like if you don't have anywhere to put anything right now, you can just do that too.
Mm.
Get a little bit back. So it's like a 80% or a 40% return.
Yeah, I think that's what I did right now. I did that, and then I took the tavern duty generals that I had the extra copies of to bring to 5-star. I went ahead and maxed those out. So
Okay,
now I've got some leftovers to consider duty generals Senate or here. So.
good deal. All right, well that covers Senate, and you've
Mm-hmm.
got a plan. That's all that matters. So next we'll go into the hard part of PvP gens and their
Uh-huh.
gear.
Okay.
So let's just start with we've already looked at your wall general
Yep.
and your books and stuff's on him, so we can bypass him. Let's look at your siege general. Old Theobald. All right, so full Haitian. Love to see it.
Yep.
All right, every spec's done. Can you also show me? So he's got attack, range, and size here. Show me his assistant. I just want to see what his assistant skill books are.
That's gonna be Gunther. Is he?
And then you got defense,
Defense,
HP,
HP.
and speed. Cool. Yep, that's perfect. All right, so now while you're on him, click on Covenant. Make sure his Covenant is good.
It's not. We're missing one. That
Oh, Melisande.
Yeah, and I've got a box that can either open that optional box from that last event that you can either, and I haven't chose yet because I haven't decided if I wanted to swap mounted generals and get the mounted assistant because that box I think unlocks Hermes. You can choose.
Hmm.
It's optional. It could be Hermes or Melisande. So I was contemplating either. Let me ask you: is there a way, if once my monarch level reaches 45, is it possible to get all of these unlocked
With two
with two
generals instead
generals?
of the three?
Yeah, if you're at 45.
Ooh. I haven't tried. So do you know so go back to your siege general real quick. I'm gonna see if you know the cultivation trick.
Get it close to 500 and then hit it. I know it. I haven't done it on
Yeah,
mine,
yeah.
but it's probably wherever it stopped me at.
Okay, yeah. So let's go ahead and let's do this because you
Okay,
got your whole alliance here too
cool.
watching. So this will be something good for them to see. So we're gonna do gold cultivate and we're gonna get everything
Below
below
500.
the or 498.
Okay.
Yep, confirm
We want to.
again.
We want all of them below 500 or
Yep,
specific
all of them
ones.
have to be below 490 or at least leadership, attack, and defense have
Okay.
to be.
That should.
All right, so right there, that's good.
Yep. Okay.
Go to quick cultivate.
Yep.
Click attack. We want to get
Oh
just
shit.
a couple. No, hit cancel.
Okay.
Don't do. Yep.
Okay.
Do attack and deselect total, and we're
Mm,
just trying to get like either 1 point increase on leadership and defense and 2 to 3 points on attack.
okay.
So we're gonna do the times 10, not the 100. We're just trying to get little. Nope. So
So
that's
we
a
want
no.
to cancel.
Yep. Cancel this.
That
Cancel
goes
that.
quite over.
Cancel that.
It's right at
Cancel.
500. Yep.
Yep. Low.
There.
Okay. Hold on.
3.
Nope, because you're losing a lot on leadership, and then your defense is going to 500. You can't use that one either.
Okay.
Cancel. 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 Yeah.
Losing too much.
No.
Yeah.
Yep, losing too much on your leadership and defense. No. Fuck.
Close.
96. Nope.
Well,
Nope.
brings 4 down 5 and 6.
All right. Try this. Hit cancel on this one.
Yeah.
Hit back. Do a gold one again.
Mm,
Just one on each. Yep, confirm. Now go back to quick cultivate. Attack again. Deselect total. Gives a little more room for leadership and defense. All right, hit cancel. This is a very tedious process. So anything over, if you get 499 or 500, it's like if you do a times 100, you're gonna get subtracted. You're not gonna get added. So
mm-hmm.
we're looking to get leadership, attack, and defense all to 498 is preferable, or a point below.
Okay.
Okay, right there.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's the same situation we had earlier, except instead of attack, now we're looking for defense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just cancel it. We're gonna have to do the same thing we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Almost. If that didn't take your leadership and defense down too much.
5, 7,
No.
4.
499 will get you the gold number. We don't want the
Okay.
gold number.
We want to be right below the gold number.
Yep. Ooh, fuck.
Takes
I took
defense
your
and leadership down.
defense way down.
Is that 1? That's 11. 4.
Okay, let's take this. Defense is the least important anyway.
Okay.
All right, hit confirm. Let's click on leadership and click on defense. Deselect attack. Now we're trying to cultivate, and we don't want to do anything with attack, but we want defense and leadership to go up by like 1 or 2 points each.
Yeah.
Like right. Ooh, that was almost
It was
perfect.
5. Yeah. 3. This one is
Yep.
499.
Too much. Yep.
Yep.
Too much.
What does that say?
It's the
Something's.
same thing. It didn't do nothing.
I don't think it's doing anything because it's
Yeah,
saying
you're rolling.
it's saying
You're not
something.
rolling into.
Oh, now it's moving.
If that didn't give attack, that didn't great.
Yep.
No.
We reduced attack.
Damn, 1 point too high on the leadership. We could have rocked that. God damn it. This is why this game is bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. So we're looking for 2. Nothing on leadership.
Almost. No. 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 Damn.
2. There we go.
But the 499 is going to be a gold
What?
number.
Oh,
What
on
you could
attack.
do.
We want nothing on
Yeah, we
attack.
can't.
Okay.
Yeah, we want nothing on attack. Or a point lower would be fine.
Point lower.
Yes.
Yep.
Do that. Take
Okay.
that. Good
Yep.
deal.
Okay.
Now we're going to go to total increase,
Hmm.
deselect leadership and defense, and we're going to do times 100. Now the goal here is to get attack, leadership, and defense all over the 520 mark. So that's going to get you 514, 512, and 508. So that's a cancel. Only 1 on that one. Only 1 on that one. Ooh, that one's close.
Leadership. We go higher.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we can go higher.
21.
524,
24.
526. Only the attack would have went
Accept
up.
attack.
Yep. Oh. Ooh. Damn. Attack and defense are really good. But your leadership's really low. So leadership is your HP.
Leadership
If
is
anything,
HP.
we
Okay.
want. Yeah, if anything, we want leadership and attack to be higher and defense a little lower.
Okay.
So if we see something like that on the top 2, we can rock it.
Yeah. Okay. More?
Yep, do it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay.
The leadership's too low.
7,
So
12, 20.
525. Nope. Cancel. 526. You got HP and defense high on that one,
Uh-huh.
and a mid attack. But this is siege. Attack is the most important.
Yeah. Okay.
So attack and defense again. God damn it. Give us leadership and attack. We'll take that. No. 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 Getting some shitty rolls.
20. Okay.
Cancel. 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 It's like getting noses. You're working. There we go.
Yeah.
We can take that.
Okay.
All right, so now that's the trick you got to do with all your generals to get their stats like exceedingly high.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then that'll also, I think it's like 3% total increase because like the additional like points over 500 are worth more.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, so if you do that with all 3 of the generals for like Gunther
Mm-hmm.
and their max level, I think you can. So what's his total stats right now? If you hit back, so he's
10,
at
7.
19, 19, 19, and 16. So
It's close. I
let me
think
do
I'm
a
like
quick.
it's honestly it's quite a. Let's go back to Gunther and see what. I felt like it was like off quite a ways, but I feel like somebody told me before it could be done. Um, I haven't gotten Monarch 45 yet to try it out, but
So I'm looking.
so I'm almost like 2,600 off.
So based on this, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's just like you've got to put a lot of gems to make it happen, because you're looking at right around 7,500 ish per general for
Mm-hmm.
all their stats added together. So if you times that by three, that gives you 22,500. So basically, you need 7,500 total stat
Mm,
per general to make it happen to that 22,500.
gotcha.
So if you add all those up and it's 7,500, then that one meets the criteria or higher.
Cultivation on assistant generals applied during attacks, or no?
No,
No. Okay.
they do not. Okay, so we got a little off course there with the cultivation trick, but it probably just
Yep.
helped a lot of people,
Sure.
so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we looked at your covenant on your other one. Let's look at your covenant on him.
You should be done.
His was done. Good deal. All right, go back. Now let's look at your refines, starting with your weapon. Yep, perfect siege attack roll. Nice. Good,
I think HP is over here.
good, 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 and good. All right. And we already looked at your siege dragon. I think you had half and half siege HP and siege attack, and we were just going to change it all to siege attack.
He's full siege attack. A wall general is half siege and half HP. So we're gonna change the wall
Okay,
general
okay.
dragon to all attack, right?
Yep, all attack.
Yeah. He. I don't
Good
think
deal.
he gets a
All
crit.
right,
Okay.
next general. Let's go archer next.
While we're on siege, let me ask you what you guys do in your alliance for siege rallies, right? Like I've heard flat refines for like T11s. Like when do you guys do that in your alliance? First of all, like do you actually have a?
No,
No. Okay.
no, not at all. Flats on T11s is not as good as percents anyway.
Yeah. Or it's like very
Just because,
borderline, right?
yeah, it's not worth like everybody going and changing and getting a second set of gear for flat refine. Like it's not worth the investment.
That was what I was gonna ask because obviously if Hein is like the primary like best siege setup, then you'd be looking at using some kind of
A
subpar
whole nother
equipment.
set.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And which you're gonna lose percents anyway. And then on top of that, you're getting a borderline. Yeah, just rock with your current general
Yeah.
and throw T11s in, and you're gonna get better results that way.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
We don't even throw T11s anymore, so
No.
yeah. But I mean, it's still viable. Just because we
If
don't
we
do it
do it,
doesn't
it's
mean.
to like help with like it's we would typically send it when we have like that one big base left that we've got to get through their siege if we want to do anything, and it's easier to heal the T11s than healing a bunch of T13 marches, right? Like we know it's at the end of the
Mhm.
battlefield, or if it's something that we got to do to get points, then we've got to hit that base. So we'd start sending T11 to just make the healing cost more manageable.
Also, just when you scout a target and you're looking at their troop composition, if you see like hundreds of millions of T4s and lower, T11 that motherfucker. You're gonna get so many points.
Yeah. So
Just because,
you're not a T4 myth legend.
no,
Yeah.
that shit is stupid. All that does is give fucking points.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because when I get rallied by RSP or VIG, like it doesn't matter my fucking troop count. All my siege are gone. Like
Yeah.
it's just points at that point.
Right.
So I'm not a bit like I don't like the T1 trap thing. I bought into that kind of keep and I'm trying to fucking get rid of it. I despise it. It's nothing but point bleeding. Like if you look at my first few reports, it'll look great.
Uh huh.
But as soon as they hit those big hits on me with archers, I am going to go negative for the rest of Battlefield. Like if they zero my keep, my overall points positive to points negative, I am points negative on my keep because of T1 bullshit.
Gotcha.
And that's the people like T1 is great early on servers, new servers, standing up, getting those like solo hits a lot
Hmm.
and getting your initial rewards, your wonders, and scoring well in battlefields. It's great for that stuff. But eventually, once your team develops and you progress to the next level of competition, it drastically falls off
Hmm.
because one rally is going to take you out. It like T1s are built strictly for the individual and a solo hit. It's not meant to be able to sustain rally hits.
Hmm. So at what point
And
do you think, like, when does that transition like happen, or when should you? I know you said I should probably start what Cav HP 3000, right? That's what you said, right? Cav HP up to
yes,
3000, then start getting rid of lower tier T1s and pushing higher tiers and switching to
once
percentages.
you gotta once your in city is at 3,000, you gotta start building your troops up first,
Hmm.
making sure you have the higher tier cav numbers because a lot of T1 keeps they're not gonna have those higher tier cav because they just die. They don't have any buffs to sustain them. So once you're
Hmm.
at that 3K mark, go ahead and start building those troops because 3K is a solid number that can sustain itself without having to swap your gear around.
Hmm.
So you can basically let them do a little bit of tanking whilst you're working on getting the numbers up. And
Hmm.
once your numbers are good, then you can make the switch and don't full dismiss all your cav. Just do like a 50% dismiss.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Honestly, it's just a pain. Everybody, it's a bullet. Every T1 player's gonna, if they're gonna continue on in the game, it's a bullet they're gonna have to bite. Is like, fuck, I'm gonna have to make high tier cabs. There's gonna be a period of time in which I'm giving away points. There's gonna be a point where I'm gonna have to dismiss troops, which nobody likes doing. So,
Hmm. I feel like that's probably only one of the only ways in the game though to like get active in that, right? Is like you've got to start out as a T1 defense, or anything else is just you give away all the points, right? What other way is there to actually get active and be able to like take defenses?
I mean, the skill is it's a skill thing. You can build a regular keep, a well balanced keep right off the rip, where you're focusing on all your areas and keeping your troop types fairly even. And like, for example, you're not slinging, 15 rallies a second in the early stages of a server. The enemy team's not going to be that good either. So making sure you only have one march out at a time, you're speeding your march to and from your keep, and if you're getting set on, just port.
Hmm.
So it's a skill thing. Don't get zeroed, dodge and swing back.
Don't let the rally happen.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And then even a well-balanced defense keep should be able to defend against solos.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'd hate the T1 keeps. I
Yeah.
mean, I understand it. It's good, it's useful, but I just I think it's because I'm in the position of that shit and I am having to actively try to fucking work through it and it's a pain in my ass.
You're competing with a lot bigger guys though on C1 than what we see on C6 though too. But yeah, I got you. If there's any kind of sizable rally like the T1 stuff, it doesn't hold up unless you have the other buffs to go with it.
Yeah, I think anything over like what 35 mil rally is just you're gonna get annihilated as a T1.
Yeah, that's generally what we see on our rallies on offense. Also, if there's anything like sitting with any kind of T1 wall and like the rest of in city buffs are sitting under 2K, it's a one tap. Like that's just what it
Yep.
is all day. That's like the first thing that I would go to and look for in a report is buffs under 2K and they've got T1s. Is send range and gets cleared.
Yep, and a
So
billion T1 troops is like what 6, 7K points to the alliance or some shit like that, like
mm,
on just the T1s.
yeah,
So anyway, little rant there. I apologize.
right on. All right,
All right,
so
into the
range.
archer. Yep.
Yeah,
So look like you're rocking two-piece Haitian, two-piece Thebes, two-piece Planet. Your specs are good. You got range attack, range size, march speed, Covenant.
should be done. Yeah,
Yep. Go to your assistant general. Look at him and his skill books.
it's gonna be Godfrey.
All right, so we got range, yep, defense, yep, and all right, cool. All the books are right.
Yep,
His covenant is good.
it is.
Good deal. All right, next, or go back to him, and we're gonna look at your refines, or on your Merlin. Sorry.
Yep.
So we got all percents. Yep, good. All percents, good. You can get that 124% up a little higher if you want.
Oh, what is that?
You got, yep. See, got to
I know
change
what I
that.
did. That I think I went back in and found my advanced refined, and then ran out of something, and thought I said I was going to come back to it. Okay, good
So we got
find.
1% to fix there.
Good find. Okay, that's gotta go.
All right, legs. Or yep, that's fine. We got 2 that need to be worked on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the 2 defense pieces. I just came back and did that one, and I think the defense pieces. That one I finished all the gold refines and was coming back for this one. Okay.
Now your boots, you're missing a gold refine. Your last one's a little low.
Mm-hmm.
22.7 is going to be the like orange
Okay.
color.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, that's min maxing at that point. Like if you're just trying to squeeze out a few extra percent here or there, like that's a good spot to go try to get that few extra percent. But
Yeah. Gotcha.
all right. And then Thebes legs. Good deal. All right. So Archer setup looks good. We already seen your Celtic. He was good.
Mm-hmm.
And we can move on to your Cav.
Let me see. Oh, there he is.
All right. So I take it you swap between PvE and PvP with him.
Yeah.
All right. So is this your PvP then? It looks like it
PvP.
is.
Yes. He's
Is that
PvP.
your Ruick at the top?
No, that's on.
Okay, it's Han. Han. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. So first skill books: attack, march size, and march speed. Covenant. Yep, that's good. Go to your assistant. We're gonna look at his skill books and Covenant. You said you're running Hermes, right?
Marco. No, I've got a box to unlock Hermes, but
Oh, gotcha.
that's also got the option for Melisande in it.
And then we got speed, yep. Defense, yep. HP, yep. All right, Covenant. Good. All right, we can go back to your uh, Napoleon. All right, let's start with the weapon or bracer. Yep, that's good. That's good. 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 And good. All right, so and you're rocking 2-piece Han, 2-piece Planet, and 2-piece Bourbon.
On. Yep, bourbon.
And y'all don't
On
feel
bourbon and
rally
planet.
cap, right? I think we had this talk already.
Yeah, no, we don't. No, no, we don't fill rally cap. But I mean, at
Okay.
that point, and I've still got room to grow in other places before I swap out to rally gear.
Okay. So
So,
yeah, once
but
y'all start
if I
capsing,
get to that point, what that's usually like a 4-2 set, right? To go for.
yep, 4-2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. 4-2, so we get this extra rally
Which you
capacity.
you have 4-piece bourbon already. I know that because we looked through your Civ gear,
Yeah, I
so
think I
you
can
can
definitely
easily
move
go to
stuff
that.
around.
Yeah. All right, cool deal. Next, last general,
Is ground.
ground. All right, so we got the Antoine, the Focuzan, and the Aztec. Okay, we got attack, we've got defense, we've got HP. Covenant,
Yep.
good. All right, assistant,
We're using Scylla.
all right, specs are good. So then you got speed, yep, size, yep, and march speed. Cool. Covenant, all good. All right, back to your general. Let's look at his refines. So we got one little low there. It's in
Mm-hmm.
the orange zone, but that's fine. That's good. That's good. That's good. Low on the 23%,
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise good. And that's good. All right, your PvP gens are looking solid, man.
Right on.
Have you started working backup generals then?
I do have one. It needs a little. I typically would use the main. I think just last night or when we talked about these freedom pieces, I think I threw some extra stuff on there that's not refined yet. But so he
Yeah,
would generally be a backup general, and that's mainly also because I've got Frigg that I used to use as a sent assistant that has her specs done.
specs
So
done.
yeah, so if I needed a backup, it would be these two. But generally, I'm sending my main ground march as Reigns. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah.
What beast are you gonna put on him
Um,
for backup? So, like, if you click his little dragon spot there, it'll show you like if you have anything available,
I don't
or
know
not.
if I do. Behemoth King, he's
So you have a
Siege.
siege.
I don't think I even have the other ones that don't have the debuffs. I've got the Bird of
You could do
Hurricane.
Lord of Lava, take it off of Gunther,
I think
and
I've
then
Gunther
upgrade him.
requires
But
a beast for his specialty. I think
yeah,
is
that's
why he's
right.
sitting on Gunther. But I think there is another one that I don't have unlocked. Maybe. Oh yeah, Thunder Scorpion. But I could unlock that one, put this one on Gunther, and then use the Lord of Lava.
Yeah, because he'll give you 30% extra buffs basically for ground.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still something. It's not like the biggest increase like a dragon or anything, but um once you upgrade, eventually down the line your keep's gonna get a Matarasu, you're gonna get your ground dragon. Once you make that swap, your frost dragon can either go on a sub for the debuff or it can go on your uh backup.
Mm-hmm.
But
Gotcha. Okay.
what about do you have a siege backup?
No siege backup.
Okay, I would work that next then too. So siege and ground. Ground's gonna be more important because I assume you guys take more archer rallies than siege rallies right now.
Take more archer rallies, yeah.
Yeah, siege will probably be the next thing you're running into the most, just to
Mm-hmm.
clear out your siege and archers. So start identifying like a combo for siege.
Yep.
And what you could do, since you're also, this is what I do for my keep. All my backup generals are also in my Senate seats, so they're fully ascended generals. But if I know I'm going to be taking a defense because I'm versing a bigger alliance, I won't use my backup marches. I'll just keep those in the Senate for those additional buffs.
Mm-hmm.
But if I know we're just going to be playing offense the whole time and I'm going to need to have additional marches, then that's when I take them out of the Senate, put a random 5-star in there just to get the first buff, and that's it.
Gotcha. Okay. Sure.
But okay, so that's your PvP gens. Let's look at your MA research. All right, so
MA,
we
what are we in?
are.
We're in MA 8. MA 8, I haven't touched. I just unlocked the building so far.
So all of these should be done then, because your
Um,
ground troop, mounted troop, and
I
ranged
think,
troops, all those are done before MA8.
yeah, I think they're the defense range ones need to be done, and um, I think there's some reinforcing ones that need to be done. These on the left were, yeah, the reinforcing ones
Mhm.
need to be done. Yeah, the reinforcing ones were the ones that I left behind.
Okay, what about the right side there? You ambush, suppressing fire up there. So that's increasing on defending and when joining alliance wars. So that's a big one to have.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your limitation? Are you low on gold? Are you low on tactic scrolls? Like
No,
what's
we're
the
good. We're just waiting for an event. I think what I have now can polish off. What I left behind was MA5, is what we're
Mhm.
lacking on. I got to MA5 and then I jumped straight to 42 and did all of the MA6 and MA7 research. So what I've been doing is coming back for all of that stuff that I left behind in MA5. And every time I think I've got enough scrolls to polish it off, I put another 50K into it, and I'm like, still not there. I think that one's like total, what, like 300,000 scrolls or something like that. But
Yeah, it was
so
I think it was one of the more expensive ones because you're finishing off all three of those first ones.
So 50,000, I'm pretty sure will finish off what I have left that are pretty much all reinforcing. But now I know I'm gonna come in here and look at all this new shit and see more attacking stats. And so, what do you think? When I now that I've got MA8 unlocked, do I still go back for those reinforcing and those HP ones, or do I come back here and
Absolutely.
yeah, okay.
Go
So
back, finish off all of those other resources. So your mounted troop, ground troop, and range troop formations, finish all those off.
mm-hmm,
Get those done because they're still good buffs to have, and that reinforcing is going to make a difference in in your situation
yeah,
because your alliance members are really uh, relying on your reigns because your reigns are going to make a drastic difference if you get into another keep.
mm-hmm, gotcha.
So I would say there's some other little ones that are like embassy cap, whatever, that maybe you can skip on
Yeah,
and come back at a later time.
mm-hmm,
But just use your best judgment. Like deserter, you don't need that. You don't need discipline 3,
mm-hmm,
but you do need that.
yeah,
Those are some. You're only at 10 out of 25, so you got 40% there. You're at least getting another 40% back.
yeah,
So I think those are actually 115% in
total,
total. Let me go
gotcha.
look at it. What's the name of that one again?
Solid shield.
Solid shield. Is that under ground?
Yep.
So solid shield gives 100%.
Okay.
So those 25s are giving you 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, get that shit up. That shit's gonna be very helpful.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Once you've got all three of those done, then you got just the siege formation left and the what's the other one called? Long range formation.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is where you have to kind of look through. You're at 8. Which side? I think melee might have an early on march size capacity, and then I know long range has one later on.
I
So
think
conscription, you
yeah,
just passed it. I think you already got
I
it.
think the next one is at 44. 44 and in long range.
Yeah, because if you scroll down or back up to the top, sorry, I think it was early on.
Here.
Close expanded conscription. Yeah, you already got it. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So then this is like, all right, well, what's the special little things on the left hand side that this one's going to provide?
There's
So like, what does
that's a
call up do?
reinforcing one.
Yeah, what's the one below that? Call up.
That's the rally capacity.
So yeah, that for a setter that would be big, but if you're not capping, you don't need to worry about this one for
Yeah, I
now.
think there's a
You can always
couple of
leave
them.
it
I come
there.
in and I hit them when we need to.
Yep. That one
Reinforcing.
reinforcing, still
Yeah.
still helps.
Ground troop and
Yep.
mounted troop defense. That's
Yep. In your scenario, I would look for probably keeping them even. So like if you do one on melee formation, do the next level on long range and kind of keep them in tandem as you work your way down.
okay.
Just because your ground range are really needed. So the melee formation is giving you ground buff. And then that siege, hitting with siege and hitting with arch is going to be important for your alliance. So getting those buffs out of the long range is going to be important.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
you can't really focus one or the other. I think you're going to have to be in tandem with each other.
Yep. Okay.
Other than that, we can go on to, is your academy completely done?
No, man. No, I think yeah, so I think there's some range troop defense right? The range troop HP. That's here. I think I've got those blocks.
Do
I
you have more
think.
gold that's not opened?
Yeah.
I'm just curious because
Yeah.
your gold's kind of low. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Just go ahead and top those off, finish them. Never worry about the academy again, man.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
Because you've got the stones, right? The research stones.
Yeah, we've got those.
Yeah, you got plenty of those.
Yep.
Yeah. And just finish off the academy, get it to 40, finish it off, and forget about it.
Yeah. Okay. I think. What about these?
Yes, do them.
Yeah,
Just
the
do them.
Archer Tower ones. And what about the wall?
Yep.
The wall stuff.
Yep.
What
Do
does
it.
that actually do? Does that actually stop or help me from getting zeroed? What's that? What am I boosting there?
No, the wall HP it's whatever, man. I don't fucking know why they even have that in here.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know a single circumstance where wall HP made a difference in any fucking thing in this game.
Right.
But just to
Okay.
have it done, to have it
Mhm.
done.
Sure. Okay.
Because you know what's going to happen. They're going to do K50, and then you're going to have to upgrade your military academy to fucking 45 to get the next tier of something. And then, yeah,
Mhm.
you're going to go all the way through this again.
Yeah. Okay.
So just having everything done beforehand, before that happens, is just going to make you, takes a load off your mind.
Okay. Gotcha.
But, all right.
Traps. What do you do for
Victory
traps?
column.
There's like trap research.
I did them all, man. I mean, it's only gold,
Mhm.
and if you've got plenty of it, the research stones don't do anything for you anywhere else.
What about
I've got
traps?
like,
Traps in general, building them. You do more than what's required for daily activities?
nope, that's all I do is daily activity.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Because all it takes is a fucking single battlefield Knight's Hall to get rid of your traps.
Okay. Right.
Um, let's do victory column next. Let's see where you're at there.
Victory columns at currently getting
Going to
upgraded to
9.
9. Yeah.
Awesome.
What's the
And
next one?
then
What's the next one for 10? Do you know? Do you have 10 on
you
your account?
need. I do have 10. Let me see.
I don't know if it'll.
For 10,
I don't know if it tells you if you already have it unlocked.
yeah, it doesn't.
I think you'd have to be
If
at
I go
9.
to detail, can I go to more information? No. I want to say it was 15 ascended generals and 4 generals over 11 million, or yeah, 11 million power. So 15 ascension, uh, 4 over 11, and then what was the big
They have the specialties.
requirement?
So many generals with specialties then.
No specialties. It's just the stars being ascended.
Okay.
I mean, if you got the speed, you can just go ahead and finish this, get the buffs, and look.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I'm assuming you're waiting on
Well,
the event.
now I don't want to speed it. I should have sped this before I did all that other construction, but now we're in All Stars and everything. Now I don't have any. I mean, what does this give? I
Yeah,
don't think this gives me anything other than. I mean, I guess if I'm gonna go in and do some I'm probably not gonna.
the
I'm probably
general
not gonna.
attributes.
Yeah, general tributes what go up by 1, right?
Yeah.
Is
Oh, I mean, it's gonna increase your power a little bit on your generals, which help too.
mm,
Trying to get into that. And then I think 1% is like, what is it, 2.5% on your generals
okay.
for each stat type.
Hmm.
So it's like, yeah, it's a small increase, but it's an increase.
Yeah, I like the construction
But
and research speed more than the other things on there.
I like the march time reduction.
Yeah, March speed. Okay.
So hold on, I'll show you something. Let me share my screen. Uh, here. Share screen. Live. Oh. Well, never mind. We're not running anything right now. Looks like Jim is doing something. I was gonna show you the amount of green lines that we have for the amount of bosses we do,
Right on.
but normally I can't even see my keep.
Yeah.
Let's see how many. So this is like 3 days of, you know, not opening anything. So we're hurting on gold because T16s and T15s are expensive to make without gold. So we run a lot of the knights and stuff. But anyway, bring yours back up. All right. So we're working on victory column. Let me pull up our list again. Civ equipment and Atlas buffs. Don't remember seeing those, but we can go back and look, just making sure you don't have any Atlas buffs that are not active.
Yeah, we look Atlas buffs. What do you call an Atlas buffs? These?
Atlas buff is so if you go to Civ Treasure or not Civ Treasure, your civilization like gear, go to the Wonder.
Oh, oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Oh, nope.
Civilization equipment,
Jeez. Yeah,
and so you see that Star Atlas right there.
yeah.
That's your Atlas buffs.
Oh, gotcha.
So we're
Okay.
just making sure you don't have any of those that are latent. So when you
Yeah.
get a full set and you start dumping, even more stars into your Civ gear,
Mhm.
you'll start getting those little extra buffs there.
Yeah. And then you get the red dots up top, right?
Yep, red dots.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think we have any of those.
So none of those were good. Now we're gonna go to your shrine. Just want to make sure you're keeping your shrine up to date.
It's at 42.
Good.
The next one is
Um,
what, at 44? The next buffs?
yeah, I would not even push that until all of your troop buildings are 45. So
Okay.
you're gonna be set on 42 for a minute.
Okay.
Um, champions. Let's look at your champions. All right. So do you have everybody unlocked, or
No.
do you only have a certain few?
I think I'm missing Josephine, and I think I'm missing one other one. Josephine and
Let's see.
this one, Esmeralda. Yeah, these two.
Josephine, Esmeralda. Okay.
Josephine
So
was
let
the
me
one that they only
pull
ran.
this
I think
up.
the event that they ran it in was before we were even here.
Mm-hmm.
So she hasn't been released again to be got.
All right. So the order in which you want to level these is gonna. Your first one is gonna be Adrienne. So you go to her. Yep, that one. So you can do this two ways because they increase the levels from 20. So now it goes to 30.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go from get Adrienne to 25 and then go to the next one, or you can get her to 20 and then go to the next one. Um, you can do it level by level if you want, or you just go all in on one until you're done and then want to go to another one.
Okay.
However you want to do it. But Adrienne, she's good against siege and archer hits, so all of her buffs that she's applying to your city is going to help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Helen as defense, she's going to be your next one to get up, because she's very defense oriented as well. Also
Okay.
gives first the keeps that are more fillers that get hit a lot. I advise them to do this one first, just because the reinforcement capacity is
Mm-hmm.
really big. Like
Yeah.
that helps them get troops into their city, which makes them live longer. So after Helen is going to be Cassandra.
Okay.
Yep, and look, you got some love on her too already.
I think she was the
Esmeralda
last.
will be
She was
after
the
her.
last one I unlocked. I think. Esmeralda is okay.
You
Not
don't have
unlocked.
her.
That's the
That's
one not
fine.
unlocked yet. Yep. She'll be the next one.
So out of the two that you don't have, the
Mm-hmm.
next chance that you can, I would unlock her first.
Yep. Okay.
And then after Esmeralda will be Elizabeth. And I'll copy this order and I'll put it in our chat, our DM.
Okay.
just so you have that if you ever need to reference back on it. But
Okay.
that's the order. And however you want to do it. If you want to go 20, everything to 20, and then go 21, 21, 21, 21, you can do that.
Yep.
Or the way I'm doing it is by fives. I'm kind of OCD, so I do 5 levels. So I got like Adrienne to 25. Helen's now at 25, so now I'm going to Cassandra to 25.
Okay. Gotcha.
Um, that covers the champions, and you didn't have any latent skills or rewards to claim, did you?
No.
So, yeah, red dots is what we're looking
No.
for, minus the ones we don't have.
Nope.
All right. And then the golden, I don't have that flower thing, and I don't have that thing above the heart. What are those?
It's I think it's like $5 and you get like it's like a 10 it's an increase for love for greeting them. And
Yo, that's some bullshit. What?
yeah, you showed me one the other day that you had though. I would trade you this for that runestone one you got.
Oh, the optional package?
Yeah.
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 That is fair. That's fair, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, they just started
Interesting.
that one. But whatever. I think it's only like $5 or something, and you get an extra
That is
20%.
disgusting.
And then the really cool thing is you don't have to sit here and do the greet. You do the like all at one time. I just did 10 greets, so I don't have to do the in and out thing.
Uh-uh. See,
Yeah.
that's just quality of life. They can give that to us. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
What's the package above the loyalty? What's that?
Uh,
Oh, that's
that's
just the
yeah.
pack itself.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's what I'm gonna go tell my alliance that, and they're gonna be pissed. We have to sit there. We have to do one at a time and wait a minute, and then do another one. It takes us 10 minutes, literally, just to greet.
Yeah, I know. I was happy with that one.
All right, fine. We'll move on to the next one. Ideal land.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's favorite thing in the game, I'm sure.
Sure.
All right, so talk me through like what do you normally do? Like how do you go about your ideal land?
I typically get everything to. I do a level 2 on every building, and that's it.
Me too.
That's
Yep,
yeah.
good.
That's really it. I do level 2 and then move on to the next one and build the next one. Um, yeah.
That's exactly what I do. So awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say, do you have all? So go to like construct. I just want to make sure. Yep, and then go to ornament. Everything is cap
Yeah.
reached, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
good. Just want to make sure because
Yeah.
some people forget like you can just build that like wall for gems or whatever, and you
Right.
get fucking ideal land points out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the way you do this, man, just I buy a pack here and there to get like I think per like $100 if you use a triple on it, you're gonna get like two ideal land ornaments.
Uh-huh.
So I do that on top of like all the things that they've added to where you can get it from bog and stuff.
I think
So
the next one is just like 5,000 points. So like the one before this, I think was like 2,500 points was a little more feasible. But then when it jumped
yeah,
up to like 5,000 points for the next one, was like, all right, there's just better places to go.
yeah, yeah. Here, let me switch over to my screen. I'll show you something as well with ideal land. So there's a way to prioritize them too. Just kind of like do a little optimization. We got ideal land. All right, so say it's here. Nope, it's not there. It's here. Say you got like, you know, 14 of these fucking things,
Hmm.
and you can buy a couple, but you don't know which ones to buy. So the way I do that is if you go to inventory collections unlimited, anything grayed out is something that you don't have.
Yeah.
So you can kind of click and see what it's going to debuff and what it's going to buff.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as every other aspect of the game. Siege is going to be priority to debuff. Then it's going to be archer. Then it's cav. Then it's ground.
Hmm.
And so I'm just looking for that siege from the next, or that if I go through and I'm like, all right, there's no siege, I'm gonna go back through look for the archer.
Gotcha.
and you could do that. And then like, all right, cool, I found it. I'm gonna build two of that one, and then you just build it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
cool little minimal way to optimize there, but
Yeah.
all right. That covers ideal land. Blazons.
Yeah.
Next stop.
Blazins. Started ground.
All right. So do we have a defense and an offense set, or do you just have one and you're like utilizing both attacking and defending on all the same?
I had a defense one that I started, and then I kept them for a while, and to the point to where I was like, all right, these things are just never gonna get used. So I trashed them and put them all into attack. And then they put that. Then they actually made that update where you could actually switch outside of your keep.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm never gonna use them. They're just always set to attack. So I mean, now it's at the point where like, all right, I could actually get some value out of like a siege one on defense, but right now everything is just an attacking set. And some pieces there are universal buffs. Um, some pieces I have some universal ones. Yeah, like ground
Yeah.
attack. That's all attack. Um, so you know, I would typically take universal
Yeah, for
or
you,
attack.
offense is obviously more important. So, um, okay, I guess my first question is, what does your like Blazon stock look like right now? Like, do you
Uh,
have enough to
I
do the work, or
No,
you just?
I think we just I just went through and did the cold. So what I've started doing with my blazons is I'm all on the attacking pieces, and the attacking
Mhm.
pieces are also cultivated to where I have at least one stat fully maxed on all the attack pieces. I stopped looking at these other ones that weren't ever since they came out with that cultivation feature, and I'm
Mhm.
finishing all the attack pieces on each of them.
Okay,
So
that's good. That's a good way to
think
start for
I
offense.
think I got to range where this one is cultivated and this one is not.
Okay. So before you continue, because you got All Stars coming up,
Mm-hmm.
with that, you definitely want to get a defense set started too.
Okay.
Um, so you can get the set bonuses down at the bottom where you're getting some debuffs in. And then on top of that, you need some of those defending words or overall words for All Stars to make your
Mm-hmm.
defense a little better. So I would say start saving your Blazons back up to get you a defense set started.
Uh huh.
Like you may not be finished on these yet, but you got something here, which is good. A lot of people just everybody hates Blazons, which is why I offer it as a service.
Yeah.
I hate them too, but if I'm gonna do them, I'd rather get paid for it.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah. You're getting paid
yeah,
for it. I
you
usually do
got
them for free in our alliance,
yeah, yeah, those
but
we I do it for free for my alliance too. That's the
they're
like
hard. They're really confusing. I mean, to a lot of people, unless you have somebody physically show you how to do this. I don't. I mean, how did I even figure? I don't know that I think I just figured out how to do it because
I can show you.
any
So
Well,
I've done it
I know how to
have a
do it
few.
now. I didn't though. I don't even know how I learned or taught myself. I think I'd usually get like that with anything in the game that I don't understand. It's like my mission to figure it out.
Yeah, so you trial and error your own stockpile
Yeah,
so you can help others. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, so I would say getting your defense set next is going to be big.
Okay,
You've got a solid basis. We can go through and look at your refines or your rolls.
okay.
But I'm sure they're going to be pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. Now, when
Yeah, that's good for attack.
I think
That's good.
I settled
After
for reinforcing on a couple of them. Like for ground, I settled for reinforcing because I was tired of re-rolling it, and then we used ground for a lot for reinforcing. So
yeah.
don't know
Yeah, so
I don't know
the
I was completely sold on it yet, which is probably why it hasn't reached 20 yet.
yeah. No, I mean, sometimes you're just like, hey, look, I'm done. I'm taking this L.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so when it comes to your offensive roles, what you're looking for is obviously the attacking verbiage. You're looking for
Mm-hmm.
the overall verbiage. or you're looking for in rally verbiage. Those are the three you want on your offense sets.
Which I
For your
think this has
defense
all
sets,
three.
it's yep. So that's like a perfect one because it's
Mm-hmm.
got everything that you need, and it's gonna apply for your attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the defending set, you're looking for the defending verbiage, the overall verbiage, and the reinforcing verbiage. Because the defending, like I was telling you earlier, that word still applies as reinforcements too. So
Okay.
you're getting a fuck ton of buffs on reinforcements,
Okay.
even if it has defending.
Okay.
So looking through now, we can just go line by line on
Yep.
all of your blazons. Yep. Just make sure you don't have any
Touching,
like capacity or
attacking.
something.
I think we probably do if these are at 10. Nope. I
Yep.
think so. Anything that
Yep.
doesn't have a lock symbol has a bad second or third attribute is what I do. So that's if I come back in
Okay.
here, I know these ones that have lock attributes have all the good ones that I'm looking for. But then if I look here, that level 15's got a yeah. So there's a training capacity.
Yep.
Uh, yeah. Reinforcing again, not sold if I'm sticking with
Yep.
reinforcing before I go to 20 training capacity. So that's usually what I do when I come in here and I'm gonna re-roll my blazons or do them. I know that these, if they're at 20 or if they're at 15 and they've got a lock on them, then I know that okay, I don't have to touch those ones. These are the ones that I would be lacking on. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
before I use like my inventory of blazons to go, because right now if I had a bunch of blazons, what I would do is come in here and do the cultivation on this one that I haven't done any cultivating on. So before I would do that, I would come scroll through all of these pieces that have these training capacity ones and then go just see if I have any duplicates for now to make sure that I don't have any. So what I've got locked here are when I'm ready to come back and re-roll this one,
Mm-hmm.
I've got
Yep.
you know pieces ready to roll on them.
Good. Yep. No, makes perfect sense. I actually do the same strat with the locking. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm in the same boat. Before they fucking put that you could change on the from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I did my blazons was I was looking for attacking or defending or overall because I just wanted one universal set that was gonna help me on offense and defense.
Yeah. Mm.
So now I gotta go back and change all my shit. So I'm stocking all my blazons up now to go back and have two separate sets.
Now, how would you prioritize a defensive set? Siege first. I mean, I guess probably different for every keep. In mine, I
For
would go with a
you,
defensive siege
go
set
ground.
first. Go ground for defensive.
Yeah, for you.
Okay.
Just because you're, like you said, you're the last to get hit in your alliance.
Mm-hmm.
So, get your ground up so that way your reinforcements are better,
Okay.
and you're sending that out to your teammates and helping your teammates out, and then siege second.
Okay.
But with All Stars coming up, hold on, All Stars is coming up, so you might want at least to do siege then, because you're what? How big are you? 20 bill, right?
12 bill. 12 bill
12
right
bill,
now. I didn't get siege once last All Stars, but I was also under 10 bill. So I don't
and
know
you're
where
in
that
C6,
threshold
right?
is at. Yeah, and I'm in C6. Even on offense, though, on my All Stars teams, I think we literally sent one siege march, the entire prelims and uh, semis. I I sent one siege march. I don't think C6 is at that point where they're really slinging big siege rallies. There was maybe one or two, um, but
Yeah, do
usually
ground.
the
Do ground.
44s and the 45s that actually have those siege defenses built, they get overlooked because there's so many other targets. That's the way that the last All Stars was anyway. But I don't know if now
Yeah, I'm
being at
thinking.
13 is going to be siege hits.
Yeah, I think ground still then, just because 12 bill, people might see it, but like, okay, we could just archer that guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
even then, if you do ground first, do ground attack defense first. So you're like top right or top left piece and bottom right piece,
Yeah.
and then do cav, HP, and defense.
Okay.
And that'll get after those archer rallies. So you'll buff up your um
Ground attack and
Cavs
then Cav
HP and
HP and
D.
defense.
Yep. So you can perfectly counter against those archer rallies.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then also, even though you're only doing ground attack on your ground troop, that ground attack is still going to help, even though when you're reinforcing. So
Okay.
I think that'll be your next focus. So defense setup with ground attacks, and then mounted troops defense and HP for blazons.
Okay.
Good way forward there.
Cool.
All right, next stop, military tactics. So for rally setters, generally they do I think it's archer first because of the first one. If you go there and go to sniping, or scroll down a little further, you see rally capacity. Yeah, so that's what a lot of setters do. But because, like you said, you're not capping right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the biggest priority. So in your case, I would say you need to focus on the ground one a little bit.
Ground? Okay.
Go to,
That's the one
yep,
I've
go to
neglected.
ground.
I don't think I've done
March
ground.
size capacity, 30
Yeah.
right there. So that's why.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you could send more troops in the rallies.
I think we're at the point with the other ones that have gotten so hired where it makes sense for me to circle back now and start hitting these.
Okay, so I'm looking at the power at the top. That gives me a good idea where you're at.
Yeah.
So that
This one I
one's
think it's at
really
2.
low.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the first ones that I hit by accident when I was figuring out what this new feature was. It's probably
Hmm.
the only reason why it's anything. So,
Yeah, this is the one I tell a lot of people to go for first that are fillers, like rally fillers,
uh-huh.
because there's a lot of like you're getting debuffs right there. And look what's being debuffed: HP and for siege and range, which is big,
Yeah.
and then you're getting your battlefield buffs as well for ground.
Gotcha.
So, and then at the very top, you're using when you do throw your ground march, you're getting all HP. You're getting your ground troop attack up. You're getting your ground troop HP again, so you're getting double HP dip there. So it's very useful for rally fillers. And on top of that, the march size capacity helps fill rallies. So
Mm-hmm.
if everybody in your alliance, goes up to 30,000 at once, and you've got 15 people, you just increased your march size by like 1.5 million
Yeah.
in Battlefield.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
All right. So what's your other ones at though? So that I know your archer was really high. Yep.
Archer's
That
high, I
was
think
good.
Cav is the highest. I think Cav is
Oh
the highest.
God. Damn, boy. That shit's up there.
So ever since I went to All Stars and saw how deadly Cavs were, I was like, oh yeah, that's the end game. Cavs. Push
Yeah.
Cavs.
Yeah.
Like what I saw a big
Calves are
Cav rally do in All Stars and the keeps that it wrecked was like, okay, we need Cav buffs. Um,
hmm
but then it's also and the breakthroughs here are so good with percentages compared to what you get in the other ones.
yeah.
Like this one is literally like you get so much here. Like there's 10% there. There's another 10% here. That's all attack. And then down here, when we jump from 28 to 26 to 38, there's 12, 24, 34, 44. And then down here, you also you literally get 60% attack on here. None of these other pieces give you 60% attack buffs, right? You
hmm
get the other one that was even close was range, right? I love siege and I love sling and siege, but when you break through on this one, you're literally getting like, right? I'm getting 8%. I'm not getting anywhere near a 60% attack buff. So, um, but
Yeah.
I mean, the next one is what I think 1,000. So it's probably
So
time
for
to,
you, I think yeah, you're good here for a minute.
yeah.
I would say get your ground up to this point,
Mm-hmm.
and then get your archers up to match it as well.
Yeah.
Once all three of those are good, then get your siege up to match, and then start back over.
Okay. Yeah, I think ground and siege are pretty even. So ground range and then jump siege. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, that's you. I think you have the highest cav one that I've seen. So that's pretty gnarly, man. I've seen a lot of keeps. That's fucking good.
That's.
Oh man.
I think Cavs are probably honestly the first one that would probably break 4K on attack.
hmm
Probably.
All right. So next step is your March presets. So let's look at
We don't
your
have any
march
right now.
size. Uh,
March presets are all going to be killing monsters right now. We haven't had Battlefield in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Everything's set up to kill monsters right now. But I could throw one together.
and just like talk me through like your layering. Like how many layers do you have? How many like for your siege march? Obviously, you have a big siege and a little siege, topping off on 13s and 11s. So that one's self-explanatory.
Yep.
But the archers, like what does your archer march look
So
like?
archers would be 5K layers that I just started doing. I was a little indifferent about increasing layers or not. But with the bigger march size, I did start increasing layers to where each attack has 5K layers. And then I'm usually coming in here and we're throwing 3 million uh, T12s. And
Okay.
then I'm usually doing about half that on 13s and then less 14s than 13s. So it would probably usually look about like this. And then we're going to go to T14s and
Yeah, that's a good balance. I like that.
we've also just
So
started, we've got T15s that we threw in there.
yeah, so I
Something's
would
off
say
though.
for your
Oh, my march size isn't active.
yeah,
Okay.
your mark size. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So that's usually what I would do. This would be like 1.5. This is like 1.25, and then we have a few T15s that we just started throwing in there.
Yeah,
Um,
so for you, I would say for your 15, since you don't have like a massive amount yet,
hmm
uh 250K to start with.
Yeah.
And then your 14s do 750, and then your 13s do an even mill, and then top off 12.
Okay. So I think the way that I've got my troops in general built are enough that give me. I've got 3 full archer marches.
Okay, that's good.
Is what.
And then the Cav March is going to look like your Cav and Archer March are very similarly built as far as like layering and stuff goes.
Focusing
Also,
in calves as T13s,
no, no, no. So you'll top off T12 Cavs as well.
T12s.
So it'll,
Sling ting,
yep,
ting,
T12s.
Sling T12s. So what I usually do on calves, I think, is because I've got, so I haven't built those out on my T12 calves. I think are not built out. They're at 2
Yeah.
mil,
So we need
and I
we
think I'm
talked about
heavier on
that
214. Yeah,
a few days ago, right? About building your Cavs up.
yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so your Cav for now then, I would just evenly distribute between your 13s and 12s. And then once you have the 12s, start topping off on 12s.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and then your ground march is obviously going to be high tier heavy.
So in general,
So
you think going heavier on T12s on calves, huh? So, because I thought the right move was going heavier on T13s and 14s, but you definitely think T12s heavier. And why is
oh
that?
yeah, for sure. I can show you. Let me pull mine back up, and then I'll pull up some of our hits from Battlefield. Let's see if I can find a Cav hit where I have an actual Cav march. This dude was too tanky. We're not gonna see a good report there because he had too many reigns. Um, maybe Kuma. It's a siege. That's an arch. That's a ground. That's an arch. 54 million reigns is going to show accurate. God damn it. This guy was a juicy fucking hit. Maybe
This
I
is
have
your
one on him.
challenge yesterday, huh? Second place. Was it close?
Yep.
Did you think you were going to get him?
Yeah. Nah. No, it was. So GOT started hitting RSP to push them further ahead of us. So they just started splatting on RSP and they made sure to secure RSP's win,
Yeah, gotcha.
which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Right.
I have my own quarrels with RSP. They brought back Oz after he literally screwed over his alliance members. which
Mm-hmm.
shows you a lot about their integrity. So, God damn, where the fuck is a good cav hit? I'm gonna go past challenge. I know. Here we go. Nope, that's GOTs. That was yesterday. That was yesterday. We slung so many fucking rallies yesterday. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I bet.
Like we're still on yesterday. That was C-Bone, and that was Calamancy. Okay, so let's see. Vero. Nope. Did we? Nope, that's not it. Ah, damn. Siege. Uh, only 22 million here, and I was at 31 bill. It's not gonna have a proper march, maybe. Maybe this one. This is the calf. This will do. Okay, so Mikoko, she's one of the bigger setters,
Mm-hmm.
or Hot's main setter. So if we go to battle detail, my march is 10k layers. I send 1 mil 15s. I send 1.25 14s, 1.5 13s, and then I top off on 12s. And if you look at the ratios, right, so this is right around 3 million. So they're getting 90 mil. And then this is less than that, and they're at 52. Just based on the layering and like the way that the battle goes, for some reason the 12s do better. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at, you're talking about the 13s, right? So a
Yeah.
1.5 getting, I'd have to do the math here. Let me pull up the calculator at the ratio. So if we take 1.5, or shit, 52 million, 52,000,000 divided by 1,500,000. So we're getting a 34.6. And then if we take 90, divide that by 3 million. Might be even actually. Wait, I did that back. I did that wrong. Hold on. 90 divided by 3,000,000. So it's like 30. Yep. So actually the 13s did a little better, but my all of my 13s died. So that's like the point exchange, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many points am I giving away as opposed to how many points am I gaining? So
Okay.
13s and 14s give up a lot of points.
Uh.
So I don't like, I try to send minimal amount of those. I still send enough to do some work like this,
Mm-hmm.
but the 12s are cheaper. They don't give up as many points, and they're gonna hit just as hard on the defender. So like, I don't know what they had in City this time. T16 siege. So you're getting a ton of kills, ton of points out of your 12s. Yeah, she was just straight siege.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I personally like the 12s. They're cheaper. They're easier to build. Um, they do just as much damage, and just because they're later in the fight too. So it's like, say, the 13s get wiped right here, like mine did.
Mm-hmm.
These get an additional round if there's more troops to get more kills because there's a million of them left. So if that we had another round of fighting to do, if this got 90 million, we could add, however many 1.2 million calves would get. So this would go up.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, and then that goes back to I was gonna say too, I would say everybody in Alliance should do 10k layers. And the reason is that is, so if I have 12, 13, 14 people in a rally with 10k layers, that's 140,000 troops that they have to eat through to get to your next layer of troops that you're actually sending. So they're like, okay, well, we hit their siege is countering our 140 million siege. So before they can even go down to the next siege, they have to kill that. It just gives you longer to fight.
Would you do it based on march size though, or because like 10K to like
K37 or a K38, right, eats up a lot of March size, right? That's
Yeah, any like body that's over like 5 mil should be at 10K layers because
okay.
10K layers is I think 600,000. Let me see. Reset. I'll hold this down. With 15s unlocked is 600,000.
Hmm.
So anybody that's got over a 5 mil march should be at that.
Okay. What about below
And then
that?
anybody below that, everybody else should be at 5K minimum.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I can kind of show you. I can activate one of these if you're right. Make sure I cool. Oh no, that was the wrong one. Capacity. This isn't my layers will be cut off, but for example, my siege I send 250 15s, 10K layers. Oh fuck. 250K siege in my highest tier, 500K my next tier, and then I top off on 13s.
Mm,
And then I don't do anything below that for big siege. It would be very similar for T11s, except instead of going up by 250,000 each time, you're just going to do 250, like 100, 100, 100, or whatever, right?
uh-huh.
You want the highest tier to be there just because it's harder to eat through those. Those are the tanking for you while your 11s do the work.
Gotcha. Okay.
Archer, so I send a million 15s, 1.25 14s, 1.5 13s, top off on 12s.
Okay.
Same setup that you just saw with my Cav.
Mm-hmm. And
And
ground.
then my ground is I only send a million of my highest layer because I don't want to give up too many points, and then I split between my next two just to not be a fucking point dump. But
Yeah.
my alliance members, they tend to just top off on the highest two tiers.
Okay.
This is individual. I changed it. I'm testing this out for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and so far I'm liking the results, so I'm keeping mine like it is.
Okay. So ground, you go top heavy. Then
Yes,
you've got your T11 March, mainly T11s, T13s, mainly T13s, and cabs and range. You're both prioritizing T12s.
yes.
Okay.
So that kind of goes into the March presets are always like a contention point in the game because everybody's got their own opinions and what they see, and it's so hard to tell who's right because what I hit versus what you hit is going to be different. Results are going to be different. The buffs are going to be different. So it's too hard to tell. But generally, though, T12s are the best performing troop type in offense.
Okay.
Um, I'll pause there for a second. I know maybe somebody in the alliance might have some questions on that, so I'll just give it a second, see if anybody wants to come up on the net.
Anybody got any questions? Luke, I had you muted. I unmuted you if you got something to say. There was some background noise.
Nothing heard. All right, we will go to the next spot then. And that's just basically we're gonna look in your inventory, make sure you don't have anything that's like latent that you're not using, or uh, where the fuck is the? Come on. Okay, there we go. All right, yep. Just scroll through. So you got one supremacy piece. We've already talked about your general chests earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So all of your generals were good, right? All your PPP generals.
Like they have full sets on them, yeah. So with Civ gear, I guess that's probably a good, that's a question I had. Um, is where to focus at with new pieces? Is it amplifying or finishing complete sets? I think probably after our conversations, it's more like focusing on like a backup ground set with other pieces. So one of the things that I've been doing is coming in here and is like, do I want to finish this set? If I needed rally capacity, then I probably would. So I keep overlooking that one. Or like these other, what's another one where I only needed? So like that one, these two pieces are more. So it would be like, do I want this all troops attack one, or do I want to go in and amplify the pieces on my siege general? I think there's another ground one that's pretty close to being done, just as a byproduct of having, I think a couple of the this one was like,
Hmm.
okay, do I want this extra 15% buff down here, or do I want to? Because I was
Yeah, I
hesitant to
think
just craft extra pieces because my PvP generals kind of have everything, or do I want to take those 30 fragments and go amplify other pieces? So I don't know if you
so.
have
I
an
think
opinion
you're
on that.
definitely going to want to go the route of completing a set and fully building another piece because the ones that you can amplify or that you should amplify, you're going to be able to get for free out of the alliance boss every like 3 months or so. Once you get enough, you get like a freedom piece set or you get one of those
Freedom and
random.
Choreo.
Well, it could be
Uh-huh.
choreo, it could be freedom, it could be I can't remember the other one, but
I think that's the two, Freedom and Choreo. I think.
yeah. So like you can amplify those two,
Mm-hmm.
um, and use amplification for that stuff. I wouldn't try. The only reason I would amplify in your shoes a civ or a supremacy piece is if you're trying to get over that 11 bill mark or 11 mil mark for your victory column 10.
Okay.
Um, Otherwise, supremacy is really hard to get. They're expensive. They're behind a 2K paywall. So getting a piece of gear for supremacy is important. You can amplify the conquest ones easier,
Mm-hmm.
but wasting a supremacy piece on amplification is not worth.
Okay.
So then it's just a matter of okay, what is my next PvP piece that I need? And if I'm done on PvP pieces, all right, what am I going to get the most debuffs out of to throw on a sub?
Mm-hmm.
And so in your case, like I think you were with a planet away. You had the one piece planet left,
Yeah, that was
and
rally
then
capacity.
what was the chess piece do? Like click on the chess piece. Let me just see what its buffs are. So ranged troop attack. And who's on your archer general right now? Was it Thebes? I think.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were running 2-2-2. We're not at the 4-2
Right.
yet. But once you get to the 4-2, you're gonna want that piece.
Right.
So thinking a little bit ahead on that, as opposed to all these other pieces.
Where
You could
did
do
I just look?
bourbon, right? Because bourbon would be another one that you would need for Cav later on.
Bourbon was the one that
So you
looked
can
like it
get
had good mounted buff, but I'm lacking three pieces there on the left, whereas the other one that specialized in ground was I'm missing one. This set can be completed a
and
lot easier than the other one.
yeah, exactly. Which I mean, absolutely, right? And you're gonna have a backup ground too. So if you've got the backup ground already with freedom, and Aztec is better than freedom, which then means you can traverse your freedom over to like a backup archer.
Hmm.
So this is going to give you more room to improve on your backup generals.
Yeah. Okay.
So Aztec boots wouldn't be a bad spot to go at all.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to want the planet chest at some point though, because once your alliance members start growing and you're filling those rallies and you do switch to that rally cap, not only are you getting that buff from that, you're going to get the 4-2 bonus set. So that's like 45% in total.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
All right. Back to inventory. Yep. And now we're just saving up on those general scrolls for the new wall gen when it's released.
Yeah.
That's what
Uh
everybody's
huh.
doing.
Yeah. I think I just recently dumped a lot of these to get those medals that I needed because I had so many of them and I wanted to upgrade those seats. So I just took these because these, before you open them, will give you 7,200 on the medals.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I opened it and then I got, like, one of these other generals, I would only get 6,000. So, I don't know. I think,
What
like,
about the one next to that, the
no,
55?
this one I wouldn't dump.
No, 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 the
What,
other side, that one.
what is that?
Can you not dismantle those? Because those
No.
are just
No,
Like you
over
can
here.
get tavern generals out of that, so it's not worth really.
No, it doesn't let you get rid of those. Only these two.
Damn,
So
that
like,
sucks.
but this is there wasn't anything that I needed out of these ones until a new general comes out. But if I try to dismantle this, right, you get 7,200. Whereas if I just grabbed a general that would come out of that, it's only going to give me 6,000. So
Yeah, but those glory ones are very valuable because the good thing about the glory is when a general does come out, you're just like a 25% chance of getting him every 4 rolls or something. So,
yeah, yep,
and
okay,
then you've got Senate seats that you're trying to fill, so and backup generals you're trying to make. So those glory are gonna make your life a lot easier.
sure,
So I would stay away from dismantling those unless you're over like 700 or some shit.
yeah, gotcha,
But
okay,
200, you're only going to be able to get 2 fully ascended generals out of.
mm-hmm,
But Raged King, you've got 2 of him. You can
yep,
dismantle him for a lot more for the same amount, I think, as the Glory.
yes, he's a
So if you roll the
7,200 one.
wheel, yeah, if you're rolling the wheel a lot, you can get him and just dismantle him.
Yeah, okay,
And we've talked about those chests too.
yep,
Yep, just some unopened stuff. Cool.
I think the rest is going to be just like inventory and resource boxes.
Yep. Yeah.
This was that box that I was telling you that has Hermes
Hermes
or,
and Melisande.
yeah, that
Ooh,
was,
that's such a hard choice.
yeah, so
Um, I,
I
I
was honestly what
think.
I'm probably going to end up doing is not. It's probably going to end up as Melisande, and it'll probably sit here for a while because it's. I don't know. All my rune stones have all been going into duty generals. I think once I don't need runes for duty generals or sub generals anymore, then I would probably look at, okay, now let me get the next PvP general because they come out so often. That's why I still have Merlin and I'm not, and Ragnar is sitting at 5-star in Senate is
Mhm.
not lacking in that area. I'd rather have the rune stones to do other things with. So if I took him, right, then I'd be benching my other mounted generals, but I would need to finish their specs.
Yeah.
So
No, I think Melisande is. I was gonna say Melisande. If I had to choose between those two,
yeah,
I think Melisande would be my choice as well. So,
yeah.
and then you can always make her an assistant general as well. So,
Mm-hmm. Is she a reinforcing one, or is she an attacking general?
she's attacking,
Is she? Okay.
but you can change. I think Gunther can. No, he's attacking too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's attacking. You're looking for a reinforcing or a backup one
It would be
for
like,
better options. Like I think John Hyundai might be a good one. I think he's got some universal as opposed to attacking,
mm-hmm.
and he's on the cheaper side to get. Oh shit, that's a lot of resources.
We've got resources to go to K44,
Hell yeah.
but I don't know. We tend to do more research things. I don't know if the scrolls were there, then I would go, but military academy
Hmm.
I think would be first before I would jump to 44. Keep the speeds.
Okay.
What do you do with these? Do I do anything with
Leave them
these other than just leave them?
until they release something new. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Um. Yeah, everything looks in order here. Just scroll down a little to the like fragments. Yeah, we're looking for the. Make sure you can't compose any of the gold ones to make premium generals. Yeah, right there, the 196. Go ahead and compose those. So you got 6 more. Yeah, there you go. You're battle tested. So I forgot to check the specialties.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not running like the special stuff on your
PvP
PvP generals,
PvP
you
generals
can.
have them. The main ones do anyway. I started working on ones for assistants, but the
Good.
assistants I think have battle tested ones, other than a couple.
Okay, good. And I was gonna say because all I put battle tested on any of my even my backup generals and assistants have battle tested on them now,
Yeah.
and I only take them to level 60. Just to get them
Uh huh.
that 10% across the board.
Yeah. Gotcha.
All right.
So yeah, I think I'm left with like I think these are all the battle tested ones.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to. I don't have anywhere to place them until I finish sub general specialties. I've been taking them. The ones that I take off the PvP generals, like here, were replaced with the flex specialty ones, and then I would
Mhm.
take these and move them to a sub, right for the
Okay.
debuff. Is that what you do with them too?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
They go in subs. Okay. Okay.
Um. All right, that covers that. The only thing that's not on my list that's kind of been added to the game is like the Civ cards
Mhm.
and like the coronation fountain. So Civ cards, the way that my alliance does it is we just get everything to the first tier. After everything's at the first tier, we go to gold tier. After gold, we go to diamond.
I've
And
been
that's been like,
I've been looking at America, Japan, and Korea. Those are the three that have the siege and range stats. Everything over here, I would
yep.
typically take these to do these three. So
Did
then
you invest in the other one when it was out, the star one?
no, because it was so.
Ah, shit.
There's only like 2% buffs in here. What like these don't give shit. I'm getting like 2 and 2 and like
Hold on, I can pull mine up. So they ended up being higher than you think. Um, because I only took mine to gold. I didn't take them to diamond. It was too expensive for diamond. But if I go to here and I go to here, so Starry Pilgrimage. So defending ground troop attack was 20%, in rally siege HP was 20%. Those are the two big things,
mm-hmm,
and then everything else was 6 to 8.
yeah
But I did this because I have 23 million T15 ground in my
yeah
city, so that makes a massive fucking difference.
right
As opposed to like the regular ones, you're only getting 12. Like the max you're getting is 18%. Oh, there's an attacking siege 20.
yeah.
But yeah, so I do like right now I'm on Russia and Europe to gold next,
So you try to get them
and
all
they're
to
only
gold.
waiting. Yeah, I've only got this one left on both of them,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, and after that it's just like, all right, time to do the grind for fucking diamonds. But
Mm,
yeah, so I hate this shit. Um, so yeah, just doing the golds are the best thing to do, and then as far as like dis disassembling, anytime I have more than 10 of something, I just dismantle the ones over 10.
you dismantle ones out.
And
So what about when you go to compose? What do you compose? Do you compose 10 at a time, or do you use composition tickets and only one?
so anything that's the only time I use composition tickets are for um the purple ones like this, the
Mm-hmm.
global that's got the purple corner or the
Yeah.
gold corner.
Okay.
All the rest of them are fairly easy to get if you're just opening up, the 10 every like 2 days or 3 or 4 days,
Yeah.
like this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you just open those up, you're gonna get the other ones pretty easily.
So what I've
Use
been
your
doing is
composition.
any of those ones that I need to get to gold or I need to get to diamond is I take all the extra ones from those other sets that I'm not focusing on and I dismantle those and
Hmm.
then
Yep.
I guess that's mainly I guess that's more because I'm going for diamond on those three sets that have siege and range. So I would take those other ones, but I would only use one copy that I have on that card that I need and use
Hmm.
composition tickets for the rest in hopes to roll a gold or roll a diamond.
Gotcha. I mean, if that's a strategy, right? You can definitely
I
go
mean, I
that
guess
route.
that's eventually what you have to do in order to get to diamond. I guess I'm just jumping the gun on
Exactly.
diamond.
Yep, exactly. The the only thing I'm doing, or the way I'm doing it, is just for being balanced. I'm OCD, so I like to keep things even
Hmm.
and work across the board. And plus, I'm getting hit by every fucking troop type, so
Yeah.
it like siege is just as important as ground for me. So
Hmm. Okay.
yeah, I do it that way. And then like when I do have 10 of something, so like when I open the next card packs, if I have over 10 of something and I go to compose, I click here and I see like this one here. Okay, I have 10 of these. Let me just go ahead and compose these. And then maybe I get a diamond. And I'm just getting literally playing on luck instead of targeting and letting it fill itself out. And now that I have, okay, that one's still gold. I don't have can't do anything with that. What I'm gonna do now is
So
go
you
to
would do that.
demolish.
You would do that and maybe get a diamond over demolishing them and using those tickets to get some of those other sets that aren't gold yet up to gold.
Yep. So like this one here, I've got two of that. Two golds of that. I don't need it. I'm gonna demolish it
So you demolish them
because I don't
after
need.
you get to, but you lose a
Yep.
lot there. Like that. So you just took 10 cards and you're getting 30 of those composition tickets. But if you would have took those 10, I guess you're just hoping you get a diamond out of it.
Yeah. So that was the thing. I took a chance
Hmm.
to try to get that diamond,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And if I did, cool. That was one more done. If not, then whatever. I'll just go back and demolish it and use it later.
Yeah. Okay.
Because like just targeting is gonna be a pain in the ass. So I just wanna like I've gotten this one diamond. I've gotten a diamond there. I've gotten two diamonds here. Gotten a diamond there. Like I'm ended up getting more diamonds by rolling this way as opposed to targeting one at a time.
Hmm.
And that's yeah, that's just how I'm doing it, man.
Okay.
If you want to get like you're targeting specific buffs, which is completely understandable. You're trying to get down what all of this right here would be disgusting to get. So like I'm not hating on your strategy at all.
Yeah. I've got it. The
Um,
American is diamond. That was. But I
that's
think
you
I
got
think
all American.
yeah, all American. But I think that's because I got lucky when I first opened them with that was I started there mainly
Two.
because I had the hard ones came in diamond first. So I was like, okay, I'm going to finish that set because I got the gold one in diamond really
Uh,
quickly. So once I had that bottom right gold one in diamond, then
mhm,
then it's like usually like a green light to go for the rest of them.
gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Coronation Fountain. Which ones are you focusing there? You mentioned that.
I did this one
The
first.
Yeah, I did the same.
Construction speed,
Hmm.
and then obviously the HP is really good. So
Yeah.
I got that to 10, and now I'm just getting all these to 10.
Yep.
And obviously I'm focusing on the universal buffs first. So like that one's HP, this one's defense, this one's attack, and the rest of these are just in rally type stuff
Hmm.
or whatever. I'm just gonna skip over those for now and get these three up. So now this one's turn is to go up,
Sure.
and then I'll go defense next. So basically this piece, and this piece are my three priorities.
Gotcha.
But I think other than that, I, we covered everything on the list. Um, and I can't think of anything else that came out since before I made this list. Trying to, other than the ideal land and getting this fucking bullshit up, which is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah. I guess I can do a few questions for us to go. If anybody else wants to come up and say anything.
Got a few left. Billy, Luke, Shiz, you guys got anything you want to ask? Okay.
All good.
Yeah.
All
Nah,
right,
I've
man.
just been soaking it all up.
Just soaking it
Say
up.
what now? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man, it was a
Yep.
pleasure helping you out. Um, I'll
Man.
I'll s- I'll stay in your Discord, obviously. Just at me if y'all need me. I am in like 40 Discords, so I have to mute everything.
Yeah,
So I only
that's
get
why I figured
ads.
if by giving you that one channel too might, would help you out. People use that just if they're trying to like get at you. That's why I figured you did, but is muting everything. I would say the biggest thing
Yep.
that I got out of everything here, I mean, a lot of it. Well, I mean, I got a lot of good stuff out of it, but with what I had going on with sub generals was super helpful on the pieces that I had. I think
Yeah.
I moved some of them over, but doing this and then finding this other range attack buff after you break that 6 out of 6 piece set bonus, and then moving that over to another range attack
Mm-hmm.
piece, that was because right, you're already losing this attack buff
Mm-hmm.
down here. That made up
And
for it.
the
So
the 4 piece doesn't do shit for you anyway.
right,
Like, yeah.
yeah,
The a lot of things I see people with like Imperial gear on their subs. I'll see people with Parthian gear on their PvP gens
hmm,
because they just don't know. Like, Parthian's strictly meant for defending, and then the Imperial's meant for offense.
yeah,
And so I see a lot of mixing and matching, and it just getting people on the right mindset and right path for those buffs help them out drastically. And they'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I had all this wrong. They make those little changes, and then they jump up, 250, 300% debuffs, and their primary buffs jump up, 300%. And they're like, damn, all it took was some gear rearranging.
right, yeah, for sure. I think you mentioned getting this other 3 piece set here. Do you like this other third piece of Augustus over the 42? Right, because you said we wanted to activate that
Yes, yes.
the 2 out of 2 piece, right? So if I did the helmet, I'm gonna lose 42% attack. What's the helmet do? I guess is probably considered.
It is. I think it's ground. If you go look, so if you have another one where you're gonna have to replace the ground debuff anyway, you can just switch the Augustus over to that instead.
Still haven't figured out which one of these pieces
Purple
are. I'm
tint
not
at
even.
the top.
Do you? Okay.
There you go, that one. So the helm, yeah, ground and mounted troop defense. So you're gonna get the same defense debuff, or instead of attack, you're getting defense on the
Mm-hmm.
mounted troop, but then you're also
Yep.
getting the ground troop debuffs.
Gotcha.
So it's a fair trade. And then what you could do is, because I think you also had some helmets that were ground debuffs, you
Yeah.
could take the cav one off and put the cav one on over the other one
Right. Okay.
somewhere else,
Okay.
and that'll get you that 2 piece bonus for a universal 10% across the board.
Sure. Okay.
But yeah, man. I guess that's about it then.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I really do,
Absolutely.
man. It's super cool.
Show me those before and afters too. Like take something before we even started talking,
Yeah.
and then compare it to like your next defense, and let's see the
Mm-hmm.
difference.
Okay. Yep. For sure. We'll do. We've got All Stars coming
All
up,
right,
so they'll
man.
get put to work. The debuffs.
Yeah, same. I got it.
That's, yeah. I, we'll see
I'm
where
in.
we end up as far as those debuffs.
Sounds good, brother. All right, man. You
Cool.
take care.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Bye.
Yep. Yep.